Hey everyone. So before I begin, I'm not sure if you're going to hear him, but my husband is actually in a work meeting right now, so you you might hear him in the background, like talking or whatever. And I'm hoping that my son is not gonna wake up because he's sleeping. So I'm trying to get this done while I can, while I have some sort of time. And this is basically the main video that I was referring to in the last video when I was speaking in regards to what I wanted to talk about next. So I'm sure I would think people would remember this case with this guy. His name is Aliex Santiesteban. Oh, I hope my Duolingo is doing okay. Probably not, but don't mind my shitty accent, okay? Hopefully you guys remember this case, remember this guy's demonic face. This is the face of a man who is a rapist, pedophile, kidnapper, and this is the stuff that I wanted to speak about in this video. And I think that I'm going to try to speak more about these types of things within our community, topics that we tend to brush under the rug. You know, the pedophiles, the rapists in our community, the people with the serious mental health issues that we tend to overlook. Those types. I'll read the story for you guys, and then I'm going to kind of get into my argument and just the fact that we focus on the dumbest shit and how things like this are never spoken about in depth with our community. Man arrested after 12-year-old boy kidnapped, sexually assaulted, shot in Miami-Dade. Now this happened it's going to be, I think, about a year ago already. So police have made an arrest after a young boy was kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and shot in northwest Miami-Dade. Officials arrested 43-year-old Aliex Santiesteban around 3 a.m. Tuesday. The boy told police he left home to visit a friend. That's the face of evil right there, ladies and gentlemen. Director Freddie Ramirez, I'm proud of the swift work by our detectives and lab personnel for freeing our community of this despicable criminal. This is a reminder to parents and children to always be vigilant because, unfortunately, in this world, there are evil people who will not hesitate to harm children. Yep. Surveillance video shows the 12-year-old child being led to a convenience store for help after he was abducted, sexually assaulted, shot in the face, and dumped at Northwest 45th Street and 31st Avenue. 2 days later, police made an arrest. Seeing the evidence, we were able to put the subject with the victim, so we definitely have the evidence that is compelling as well as other physical evidence, said Special Victims Bureau Major Brian Rafke. We now know the subject was in the area due to good old-fashioned police work. Santiesteban was arrested Monday night after 2 days of news reports of the violent crime. He denies the charges brought against him, but now there's a twist. A neighbor shared a video he gave to police showing a dark sedan on Northwest 31st Avenue near 45th Street at 2:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. Nearly 90 minutes later, Santiesteban showed up in Miami Beach to tell police that he was a victim of an armed robbery. He was on the 600 block of 10th Street and couldn't describe his attacker or where he was attacked. A Miami Beach police spokesperson said he was taken to Mount Sinai Medical Center to be treated for an unspecified injury. Cell phone videos shared by 7 News viewers showed Santiesteban's car being towed away and investigators taking pictures of a gun. The suspect was taken into custody outside of Island Living Apartments at Northwest 12th Street near 3rd Avenue. On Tuesday morning, he made his first court appearance. Police said Santiesteban has a criminal history, but wouldn't elaborate. Santiesteban was charged with attempted murder, sexual battery with a deadly weapon, and kidnapping a child under the age of 13. I believe this individual possesses a great danger to children in our community, said Judge Judith Rubenstein. Oh, aren't you smart? The 12-year-old boy is still in the hospital receiving treatment. Santiesteban is being held without bond. According to police, the only thing he could say is he didn't do it. Investigators said there could be other victims of Santiesteban. They asked those, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, with the Crime Stopper stuff, right? It's not an easy topic, obviously. And, it's good that it's good that he looks the way he does, because it's like the last thing I need is for him to be either like an Afro Latino, for example. Then people like be trying to accuse me of like race baiting or some bullshit, right? Meanwhile, this stuff that goes on with our community tends to be all different shades of demons in our community, okay? And I have stories for days, all right? But my thing is like, which I will get to, because I'm going to get to some stories, okay? I'll do that. But my thing is that we pay more attention to bullshit like this. Now, remember this chick? Remember Soho Karen? And you know what? I'm totally guilty. I am completely guilty of, taking the time out to do videos about this and addressing this chick, this crazy bitch who attacked this kid and accused him of stealing her cell phone. And because the boy happened to be black, people were pinning it as a hate crime, as a whatever, that she's a racist and she's basically a Karen, right? But then there's proof that she's actually done similar things to several other people, and they were the races of those people were not mentioned. And my argument at the time was that she has some mental health issues, probably a narcissist. She could very possibly well be a racist. I'm not saying that she's not, but what I'm saying is that I really don't particularly think that it was racially motivated as to why she did that. I just think she's a crazy bitch because, again, she's done this to other people. But the whole reason why I'm bringing her up is because there were so many Latin people, like within regular media, and of course on social media, it wasn't just me that was talking about it, that were just going in on this chick and, just totally highlighting and bringing up the racism within the Latin community, which, is fine. But again, I feel like at this point, this topic is so oversaturated that even I am at the point where I'm like, I know I started my channel on this several years ago when I had a first channel. I used to talk about all of that stuff. And you're talking about like 5 years ago or so. And I used to talk about, racism within the Latin community. And I spoke about a lot of other things, right? And my opinions have changed on a lot of things. And, just the fact that people are talking about this so much, and it's like, people don't talk about people like this enough in our community. The other thing that I wanted to address were the stories that we hear about all of these kidnappings and rapes that tend to occur at the border. And we hear about things like this on the news a lot. And, one of the main reasons why I'm shedding light on this is because, unfortunately, these things and people like this demon here and people like these rapists at the border, they tend to be used as a means to hate us as Latin people. And these types of heinous crimes are used against us as a whole, right? So they're used as a way to be like, you see, we don't want these people in this country because they're rapists, they're murderers. Look at what they're doing to their women at the border. And unfortunately, if we have these demons doing these things, right, we can't say that they're not doing them. And then we don't call them out, right? Well, what do we do instead? We're not all like that. It's the same argument that we use with the racism within our community, right? We're not all like that, and we're not. But the difference between the racism topic and this topic is that we'll go to great lengths to be like, we're not racist, we're not this, we're not that. Hey, I've been called all things on here, if people remember. I've been accused of all types of shit on this platform, okay? Racism, me being a racist, and a white supremacist because of who I married. Those were some of the things. Hilarious. And that is a highlight, right? Like, we'll stay talking about the race stuff, right? And we'll be like, no, we're not all racist. We're not all racist. But when it comes to this type of shit, You don't hear us like, oh, we're not all rapists, and calling these people out in great length, these people's feet to the fire under great length, the way that we do with the racists in our community, right? We don't do that. We've never done that. What do? We sweep it under the rug, right? The people who take advantage of the people, of the children in our families, right? We sweep that shit under the rug, don't we? And now I'm saying that, and I know, what I know what Latin people are going to do on here? I know what some of you motherfuckers are going to do, and I'm going to say some. Some of you are going to be like, well, that's not my family. That's you guys. That's this. That's you group of people. That's that. Y'all are so full of shit. You're so fucking full of shit. You guys are full of shit. And you know that if it wasn't your family, you know plenty of people's families who did do that shit. So stop it. I don't know what type of privilege or money you guys grew up with, but, acting like you guys come from these holier than thou places and, these very 1% elite type fucking families that seem to exist within our communities, as if you guys all came from money and you guys all came from intact families and you guys all came from perfection, right? I'm calling it out. And what? Why can't we talk about hunting people like this down and killing them? Oh, you know what else? Who else is another good example, even though her story wasn't a rape story or anything like that? A good example of somebody who went through extreme trauma due to somebody in her family having mental health issues that weren't addressed is Bird Martinez. Remember Bird Martinez? And what happened to Bird Martinez? And the story with Bird Martinez. I like Bird Martinez, by the way. I haven't watched her channel in a very long time. Whether she likes me or not, I have no idea. And whatever, that doesn't matter to me. I got nothing against the girl. Her and her husband seem like decent people, right? But the story was that her mother-in-law knew that her son had mental health issues. And what the fuck did she do? Brushed it under the rug, right? And Bird Martinez had problems with that man in the past. And so did her husband. That was the story, that there were issues with him in the past. And he had these problems in the past, right? And people brushed it under the rug. And he could have fucking killed her. And what was the mother still trying to do? Still trying to protect him, right? Don't tell me you guys don't know people within our community that do that shit. Please don't. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. Maybe this is my calling. I don't do good with things that are oversaturated topics. I don't. I get bored quickly. I get bored. I'm hearing the same things over and over and over again when it comes to all of these topics, when it comes to racism, when it comes to colorism, stuff that I heard years ago, comments that I would hear years ago, comments that I wrote years ago. I'm seeing similar comments written in other comment sections, similar things said. I'm not saying stuff from me. I'm saying stuff from even other content creators, things that were addressed a very long time ago, just addressed over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Now, with what I'm saying with everything in this video, this is not particularly shots at anybody, but if you guys take it that way, then it is what it is. People can take it whatever way you want to take it. This video is for the people who are picking up what I'm dropping down right now. If there's any group of people that I hate, it's people like this motherfucker right here. That's the only group of people that I hate. Rapists, pedophiles. No remorse given. I don't care what the fuck they went through. I don't care. Oh, stories, right? I said I was going to give you guys stories. Okay, a very long time ago, this was way before I met my husband, by the way, I briefly dated a guy. He had a lot of issues, unfortunately. Not a bad person. But he told me that he was raped by both his dad and his uncle under the age of 5. That's one story. Let's give you another story. We have a family friend. This family friend has been around since before I was even born. His dad, Puerto Rican dad, by the way, decided to take him to a brothel, I think around the age of 9, in order for him to lose his virginity. Does that sound normal to you? And the reason why I put that story in there is to show that there are women who do this shit too. Because the person that took his virginity away was a woman that worked at a brothel. What else? You guys want more stories? Because I got stories for days. I got stories for fucking days. Girls that I knew who were raped by their own parents, by their own dads. I knew several girls who were raped by men in their family. Several, not just one. I wish I could say it was just one. And when I'm saying this, unfortunately, I'm also including girls that were Black American too. So Latin and Black American, unfortunately. And I'm not saying these things don't happen in other communities, but this is the argument that we do, right? When it comes to this topic, this is what we do. But that happens in all communities. And yes, it does. Domestic violence, the same thing. It happens in all communities. Yeah, it does. I'm not denying it. I've never denied it. But when the fuck are we going to address the demons in ours? The real demons. How often are these people held accountable? How often? Because in most cases, it is men that are doing these things. In most cases, the predators are men. How often are they held accountable in these families of ours? Tell me. I want to hear it. I want to hear you guys tell me how often they're held accountable. Like I said, guys, this wasn't going to be an easy video to do. I want to get more into these women that are getting raped at the border. I don't know if I'm going to be getting more so into the femicide in Latin America. I touched on that before. I did a video on that a while ago. I've mentioned it in other videos. You guys can talk about me behind my back, troll me, call me whatever the fuck you want. Say I look like this or I look like that. Judge me by the way I look. Judge me by the way I talk. Judge me by the way I don't speak Spanish. You can do all of that. But what I would really like for you guys to do all of that, but also hold these people accountable. How's that? Continue doing that and hold people like this accountable. How about that? You can do that, right? That'd be nice. I think that's about it. I think I'm going to go for now. Like I said, this was probably going to be the hardest video I've ever done. And yeah. It might get even harder if I keep doing stuff like this. But I don't know. I'm sick of these guys way more than probably most people are. And they're demons. And I'm a demon slayer. I'll see you all in my next one. Take it easy, guys.